Hello and welcome to tonight's LOL Esports Roundup. We're going to cover the two series that took place in the LPL many hours ago and then preview the schedule for tomorrow in the LPL and opening day of the LCK. I understand that these series will be starting only several hours from now, not double digits, but daily uploads, we're going to get it done. So, recap, I went 2-0 in my predictions. If you become a member, you'll get my predictions. We had Team Wii 18th in my power rankings. That video went up yesterday, updating those. Ultra Prime 24th. Team Wii would win 2-0 and are now 2-0 on the year. Ultra Prime are 2-1. Hang was my MVP. Hope went 805, 34% of damage at 80 carry. Iwandi 1015. So the bot lane went deathless, 9020. Doggo for Ultra Prime went 131, 34% of damage. There was a big mid diff. Now, I named Hang MVP. I thought Hang was very active. He was very impactful. He got the bot lane ahead. He got mid lane ahead. He also partook in top lane a tad bit. I thought Hang was very active, way more active than Ning, and that was the difference. However, Shanks over Forge, Shanks was way better than Forge in this one. Like, the mid gap was a chasm. Shanks got picked off once or twice in the side lane, but Forge on the Gragas in both games was absolutely useless in my opinion. I'm not a big Forge fan. I have said that Ching should have stayed in the lineup. This is a bit problematic. Ultra Prime finally play a team that is decent. I predicted Team Wii to win 2-0. I mean, they just don't match up. And not only that, if you're going to put Forge on a facilitator like Gragas, who he didn't end up building for damage, really, Ning needs to carry. And Ning just simply did not do that in any way, shape, or form. Ning is not that type of player to me, at least what I've seen recently. And then it just becomes the doggo show, because Invincible isn't able to do enough in top lane because Cube is able to keep him under control. Cube had impact in team fights in game one on the Scion. He had some very good ultis going into team fights and actually was the meatball that he needed to be. Iwandi got things done. Hope did well in team fights, but I felt like Hang had a lot to do with their success. So this will be a shorter roundup than normal, so we're going to move on to the next one. Top Esports, 7th in the power rankings against Ninja and Pajamas, who are 25th. Nip are now 2-2, top 2-1, top 1 2-0. Tien was my MVP. Jackie Love went 12-2, 13, 35% of damage. Mark at support 1-4, 25. So the bot lane for top 13, 6, and 38. Angel led the way for Nip, going 5-2 and 9, 28% of damage. Tien was MVP because he gapped Shadow so bad in smite fights that they benched him for game 2, and Zhao Lao Bao went back into the lineup. So Zhao Lao Bao's still kicking there. And, Angel's pretty safe over Pout, but we'll see what Nip do in their next series. Because honestly, Tien won 3 straight Drake 50-50s in game 1. And that was a big difference because Nip had an advantage in gold, a significant one, like 5k for quite a long time, but they were unable to secure objectives because Shadow continued to fail smiting the objectives, losing the smite fights, losing last hitting the Drake, and it allowed top to get to Soul Point before Nip did, despite Nip being in the gold lead, Nip finding a way to get a Baron. Tien just was better in that regard. His Wukong also was doing things in team fights which mattered. Because Rookie, frankly, in game 1 on the RE was not very good for the majority of it. In the end, he was okay, and there's a case to be made his game 2 was so strong he could have been MVP for that game specifically, but game 1 he was awful in my opinion. Jackie Love was consistent. Game 2 played the Ziggs. I'm not as big Ziggs fan. I feel like right now when people play it usually isn't very good. And I predicted top to win this, so actually to win 2-0, and that's what happened. So, I mean, for them to do well on Ziggs and bot lane doesn't shock me. Mark played Leona and instantly died a couple times in team fights and was just like, oh my god, I hate this pick. But, I mean, 1-4 and 25 over 2 games, can't complain. In the end, it just not great. Not great for Nip. Wayward and Invincible, meh. Just just not really great. Not really great. Rookie in game 2 on Jace was super good. I thought Tian struggled in game 2 on the Maokai, but the fact that he literally got Shadow benched for this series was enough for me to make him MVP. Sneak peek for tomorrow. So we have 3 series in the LPL. The LPL schedule is different than years past because of Asia games. So we have 3 bangers, really. OMG JDG. OMG 10th in the power rankings at 1-1. Play JDG, who are 2nd at 1-1. OMG beat Weibo last time they're on the Rift. JDG beat LNG. Last time they played in the spring, OMG won 2-1. I highlighted the top lane matchup. We have 2 of the top 5 top laners in the world. Or around there. A lot of people have put Shanji up there. I don't think I did a couple weeks ago, but he's in the next 5. Shanji went 6, 7, and 10, 518 DPM for 23% in the win. 369, 758, 537, 22%. So very close. I expect that series to be top lane's going to be important because the way everyone else on JDG play, I really think they're better than OMG. Even on OMG's best day, unlike Weibo, who on their best day I think matches JDG. I just don't think Abel is as good as Light. PP God's better than Crisp, but Abel is not better than Light. Cream is definitely not better than Knight, and then Aki can't hold Kanavi's jockstrap. So that's the way I look at that. RNG and IG both 1-1, neither in the top 25. RNG lost to LNG last time they're in the Rift. IG lost to NIP. Last time they played in spring, IG won 2-0. The lineups are very different from then. IG no longer have Gideon and Dove in jungle and mid. Now they have Tianjin and Cryan. I did not look at LPL Fan Club to confirm that those are the starters after IG lost, but I'm assuming they're the starters. I know Nenny is around for top lane. I guess he could even start, and the YSCam part could be useless, but I digress. Bot lane for RNG is different now that they have LP and Lamau instead of Gala and Ming. In that 2-0, YSKM went 10-1 and 9, 458 DPM for 22%. Breathe in the loss, 553, 499, 23%. 2 very good top laners. This is very good. Actually, all 6 top laners in the LPL that are playing tomorrow are excellent. Definitely in the top 10 to 15 in the world at worst. And that's like a stretch because honestly, the worst one is probably YSKM, and he is going to be very good in his prime. EDG and BLG. EDG 11th, BLG 4th. Oh, by the way, thinking about this, the predictions, if you are a member, are in post form. They're in post form. EDG 11th at 1-1, BLG 2-0, 4th. BLG beat Rare Atom. EDG lost to top last time these teams were on the Rift. When they played each other in the LPL playoffs, BLG would win 3-2 in spring. Elk went 30, 11, and 36 for 34% of the team's damage in the win. Leave went 15, 20, and 34 for 31% in the loss. Leave did struggle in the playoffs. I hope he kind of develops from that and uses an experience. Mako helps keep the kids' confidence high going into the next playoffs because I do reckon EDG does get back into summer playoffs, and this will be a good test because I think BLG's first 2 matchups, OMG, you can go flip a coin, and Rare Atom are not very good. So with that in mind, I think that this will be a real test for BLG because EDG are very consistent. Win or loss, I still think that they play respectable. LCK opening day sneak peek. KT and HLE. KT 6th, HLE 12th in my power rankings. KT won 3-1 in the loser bracket when they played in spring playoffs. Aiming went 12, 8, and 25 for 577 DPM, 29% in the win. Viper went 13, 5, and 12, 821 DPM for 43% of HLE's damage. Viper is in elo hell. That is the matchup to watch. Viper is excellent. He is elite. He is one of the best in the world. Aiming is a respectable and very good AD carry. Last summer, I put him in an MVP category because I thought that's how good he was at the time, and I will hold true to that. Now with Keen on his team, he's not as valuable or as important as he was before. Yet he's no slouch. So that's the matchup that I think is the most interesting. And then we have Liv Sandbox and D+. Liv Sandbox 16th, D+ 8th. Last time they played was in spring regular season. Sandbox won 2-0. I highlighted the supports. And you may say, really? You highlighted the supports? Why does that matter? Well, I would have highlighted Envy because Envy went deathless in that 2-0 win. But Envy now is benched on LGD Gaming, who are 0-3 in the LPL. And Teddy is signed to play for Liv Sandbox. So it's Teddy versus Deft tomorrow. So we'll highlight the supports because the bot lane matchup was the one that was most lopsided last time. Kale went 4-2-14, 270 DPM for 15% of Sandbox's damage. And Kellen in the loss went 1-4-2, 126 DPM for only 7%. So Kale, twice as much damage in terms of percentage and more than twice of the damage per minute. You may say to yourself, but it's support. I mean, that's a big difference though. Like, Kale is cutting into like Willer's damage share and things like that at that point. Like, he is, I think Kale is excellent. I put him in my top 5 supports. I think with Prince last year and with Envy this spring, and even with Teddy, I expect him to be even better. Kale is going to wake a lot of people up this split. I think he's excellent. In this series, I think is going to be interesting to see how Teddy fits into that team, because Sandbox did surprise this past year. I mean, in summer and then in spring again with the roster they have. And I've said it multiple times. I don't think they improve win-loss record with Teddy because I thought Envy did very well. Teddy's better, but the bot lane I thought wasn't the problem. Top lane is, and then the consistency of closer are the problems. So I don't really know if this helps them beat a team like D+ or not. I mean, they beat them last time. So, I mean, they're entirely capable of doing it again. But that's it for the roundup. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter so you can get my predictions. And I hope to see you again tomorrow.